Good morning, everyone.
Hey everybody, how are
How are
you
you
guys
all doing?
doing?
Welcome to another Digital Jamaica Live. My name is Kadia Francis.
And my name is Monique McIntosh, and we're your hosts for today.
Yes, we're your hosts for today, and we have a very interesting show coming up for you guys because today
Yeah.
we are talking about gaming.
Yay!
Yes, we're talking about gaming because
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of money to be made gaming. Since the COVID lockdown, the gaming industry has literally seen a boom. And so we want to know how Jamaicans can get in on that, and we have some very special guests. But before we do that, let's talk about what's coming up on the show. So we have the tech word of the day and our trivia question, which we have already put out there and we've seen your answers. Okay. So in today's tech news segment, Steve Harvey, funny man, and popular TV host Steve Harvey, through his foundation, donates US $15,000 to purchase tablets for Jamaican children, right?
Yeah.
And Jamaica finally making the move from analog to digital free to air TV. We're going to explain what that is and why it's important. El Salvador's bold Bitcoin move gets stopped in its track by the World Bank,
Oh my
and we
God.
suspect we
We know
suspect
why.
there are reasons behind reasons for that.
Yeah.
Of course, Facebook is a social media giant, and they're wanting to get into that audio space like Clubhouse, like Twitter. And we're going to talk about what they are doing to get in on that space. And the first and the biggest NFT lawsuit. Well, if it's the first, so I guess it's the biggest, but it's
By
huge.
default.
Rockefeller, which is, you guys know, Jay-Z's music company, is suing its
Mm-hmm.
former co-founder Damon Dash because Damon Dash went and tried to
Did some stuff.
NFT some assets, and Rockefeller is like, no.
Hell no.
So the interesting lawsuit coming up, and we're going to be talking about that as well. Monique, what's coming up in our technically speaking segment?
So, in technically speaking, we're talking about gaming, like you mentioned, Kadia, and there's so much money to be made within this space. And we want to know how Jamaicans can get a piece of that pie, you
Where the
know?
money resides, where the money
Yeah.
resides.
So we're talking to Raccine Malcolm, the co-founder of Games Marketing Essentials, and me never know Jamaicans was into game marketing. We're also talking to Glen Henry. Now, when you're talking about gaming in Jamaica, you can't not talk to Glen. Yeah, he's the founder of Sprite Wrench Studios, and we're also talking to Zane Francis, who is an indie game developer. So all of these people are Jamaicans who work in gaming. So we're not talking about no far-fetched nothing. We're bringing it right home. Now, guys, we want to hear what you have to say about, what we're saying, and we want you to share in real time. So you can actually leave a comment, whether you're tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. And the best comments will be brought on to the stream.
Yes. And in our people and product segment, we have somebody who we have featured twice before, but we have to keep talking about him because we just think it's
Absolutely.
amazing. Kennada Smith, who
And
is the creator of the ABC Fast or Slow mobile game. Mobile game, and it's I think it's now available on iOS, but it was on Android. And ABC Fast or Slow, as you guys know, is a traditional Jamaican picnic game, and
yeah.
he has turned it into a mobile web game and is doing very well on these platforms. I want to big him up. I want to feature him today. So we'll be talking to Kennada Smith, who is in our YouTube chats. Good morning,
Hey, Canado.
in our people and product segment. Just a
Yes.
reminder, guys, that the Digital Jamaica Live Show is sponsored by G5 Cybersecurity. So shout out to G5 Cybersecurity.
Anyway,
You
them
can,
there.
yes, protecting businesses and family online. You can visit G5 Cybersecurity at www. Why do I keep getting that? www
Dots.
g5cybersecurity.com to assess your company's network for security vulnerabilities and to see if you comply with the Jamaica Data Protection Act, because that's actually very serious. Non-compliance can get you into bottom
Big.
hole. Yes.
Big trouble.
Big trouble. So over to Monique for today's word of the day and trivia question.
Now, when we're talking about gaming, we have to start understanding some terminology. And so today's word of the day is actually an acronym, and it is MOBA. Now, what does that stand for? MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. Now, what this means, it's a genre of video game popularized by this very popular game, Defense of the Ancients, that basically puts teams of players to defend their home base from enemy onslaughts. MOBA is a subcategory of strategy games where teams compete on a defined battlefield. So each player controls a specific user, and this person has a particular set of skills or talents or abilities that help to contribute to the overall team's strategy. Now, some of the world's most popular esports games are MOBA games, including League of Legends, Dota 2, Valorant, and Overwatch. Now, the most popular MOBA online game is called League of Legends, and it's garnered 49,835,090 viewer hours across 1,974,769 streams by over 700,000 streamers only in the past 7 days. Okay? Only in the past 7 days. So we're not talking any monkey business. We're talking some serious coin. Yeah? Now, keeping that in mind, we're moving right on to today's trivia question. And the tech trivia question of the day is: what is the name of the world's first home video game console? And in which year did it come to market? What's the name of the world's first home video game console, and in which year did it come to market? Now, you guys have been answering across our social media. Stay tuned for the draw. That's what I've been doing over here, right? Getting your names and putting them on a piece of paper so we can draw your name for who has the correct answer. You can still submit your answers in the chat. I'm still adding persons to the draw. All right. So the person who wins from the draw selection is going to get this Vivitar 7-in-1 Streaming Essentials Selfie Tripod, perfect for a beginner content creator. And this is courtesy of Breadfruit Media.
Yes. If you are a beginner content creator, influencer, vlogger, whatever, or if you just need something to, put your phone on so you can make some recording, this is perfect for you. And we are giving it away today. As Monique says, thanks to our sponsor, Breadfruit Media, for sponsoring today's giveaway. And guys, drop your answers in the comments right here. It's still a draw. It's still anybody's game, and we are happy to be able to do this for you guys as well. Now we're going straight into our technically speaking not technically speaking, or tech news segment.
Yes.
Yes. Now, guys, the Steve Harvey, no, well, it's called the Steve and Marjorie Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
has donated USD $50,000 to a local group called the Connect a Child Initiative to provide tablets in local schools, right? So the money will go towards the purchase of 100 tablets for Jamaican students. I hear money over there snipping away for the jar, right? So the Connect a Child initiative is a collaborative effort
Yeah.
between some really big players. So it's the PSOJ, the NTB Foundation, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the National Education Trust, and the Junior Achievement Jamaica, right? And they have formed this group to assist the Ministry of Education's push, the one laptop or tablet per child push that the Ministry of Education have been
It's
on
promoting. Yeah.
promoting. Right. No, it's not the first time that the Steve and Margie Foundation has donated monies towards some local effort, because they donated $1 million to the Majestic Gardens Basic School back in 2010, and which Steve Harvey daughter is married to a Jamaican.
Yeah, he mentioned it on the show one day while I was watching. One of his daughters is married to a Jamaican.
Ah,
And
okay,
he
okay,
shared a
okay.
whole story about coming to a villa and holding a machete and
Oh, awesome
Steve,
stuff, awesome stuff.
excitement.
The only thing I have to say, because you know we have thoughts. You
Yeah.
know you have thoughts. PSOJ have money. PSOJ have enough money. Yeah. NCB Foundation have money. JC have money. And I'm wondering why they're taking I understand why they're taking donations. That's a stupid thing to say. I understand why they're taking donations, but them can't afford 100 tablet between the three of them. But just I say the JSC, the PSOJ, the
What
NTB Foundation can't afford tablets.
what it
They could have
is?
probably afford more than 100 tablets now. I understand.
Yeah.
It's an initiative, and then you
And
sting and
also,
thing. But just I say,
what it is they're reaching with to use their network, because NCB has donated, and they also have done a lot of initiatives around training and stuff like that, especially throughout COVID. Yeah, they've doubled down on a lot of their efforts.
I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about tablets, and I'm saying them have money. That's all I'm saying. I'm
They
not
might add to the
even.
pool. They might add to the pool, man. They might add to the pool. And
I take it.
why not use a friend to Jamaica to get another
No
150?
problem with that
Yeah.
whatsoever. Me just I say them
Yeah.
have money. I'm still just right. Anyways, moving on. Next story. Money.
Yes.
So Jamaica is moving from analog to digital.
Okay, so it's been a long time coming, but the Jamaican government is reiterating its directive to transition from analog to digital free-to-air television by 2023. Now, it's happening in a phased approach, because they want to make sure that broadcasters can effectively make that transition that they need to. So they're actually giving them an entire year to manage both, to handle both analog and digital broadcast, to make sure that they can make the move for whatever equipment, because a lot of this equipment is really expensive to change over. Now, I kind of ask myself, okay, what's the big deal? We keep talking about this. Why does this keep coming up? Okay, you're doing it, just do it and move on. The big deal, and I had to go to dummies.com, yes, get that information. They said that one of the biggest or most significant reasons why persons would switch is that the digital signal is going to free up a lot of valuable portions of the broadcast spectrum. Basically, it's saying when we move over to digital, we'll have a lot more broadband space in order to do other things like your internet. Yeah. So we can use some of the existing infrastructure to transition over that space to free up a lot of things to help us to progress in other areas. And then too, it does things like, okay, advanced wireless service. You can do it has some implications for public and some safety services as well. Then, on the other hand, networks and TV stations can stop having to do both. They would just transition over into digital. But one of the big things that stood out to me was the fact that the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information indicates that approximately 83.7% of Jamaicans still use the analog free-to-air TV services. And so this transition and this change is going to be a huge shift for the majority, not even half, the vast majority of Jamaicans who consume any kind of TV. I was shocked.
I don't. But the TVs that we're buying is smart TVs and stuff.
Maybe in Kingston and St. Andrew, I don't know, Kadia. I don't know. I can only use it. I was surprised. I was surprised based on the percentage, because I'm like, what if you have a cable box or whatever? But I know that I used to have antenna in my house. So if
I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one, but you're absolutely right. I'm in the metropolitan area, so
we can't really speak for most of Jamaica.
Guys, moving on. El Salvador became the world's first country to adopt Bitcoin as its official currency. Okay, now some things to bear in mind. El Salvador actually does not have its own currency. The official currency in El Salvador is the US dollar.
Wow.
And so what they have done is earlier this year, they announced that they were making the move to Bitcoin. And earlier this month, Congress actually approved the bill to make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador alongside the US dollar. Now, according to the President Bukele, I'm assuming that's how his name is pronounced, he says the reason why they're doing it is because, one, El Salvador, like Jamaica, relies very heavily on remittances, right? And he's saying this is a way to get more remittances into the country by different means. So he says it will bring financial inclusion, investment, tourism, innovation, and economic development into the country. And so that was one of the reasons why he said that he wanted to make this push. Now, another thing to bear in mind is that El Salvador, like Jamaica, is under an IMF arrangement. Yes. Stick a pin right there. We're coming back to that. So El Salvador went to the World Bank and said, hey guys, in 90 days, Bitcoin will become legal tender, and we need your we need your technical assistance to implement Bitcoin as an official method of payment in El Salvador. And the World Bank was like, no, we're not doing that, right? And according to the World Bank, the reason why they rejected the request from El Salvador is because of the environmental and transparency shortcomings of Bitcoin. Okay, World Bank, sure, that's the reason. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're under an IMF arrangement and y'all don't want Bitcoin as payment for the IMF. Talk the truth. Let's just be honest with each other. They don't want a situation where El Salvador is going, well, we got some Bitcoins though, to use it as payment for IMF, because IMF is like, it's cash only, thank you. US dollars only, thank you. So I see a little, thing going on there, because, these institutions, right? But yeah, they said no, and that kind of put a spanner in the works for El Salvador now, because they probably don't have the technical know-how to implement this, but they want to. I can't say whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for El Salvador, but at least they're trying to do something. And I think they're getting a little fight, because Bitcoin being this decentralized system, blockchain, blah, 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 it's not fully accepted by everybody. just yet, especially these big institutions. And of course, the US dollar has to have space to still be the big man in town. So World Bank is like, we're not going to help you not make the US dollar in El Salvador. So I think that's what that is all about. But they said nope. Everything has just
not today.
Not today. Unfortunately. So we'll see how that plays out and see what the next move Bukele will make. But I think I think it's an innovative move to make, and I see where he's going with it, and I'm hoping that he'll find a way to get around these economic blockades that we in the Caribbean are very much used to. If we do things that these people say we're not supposed to do because stay in your lane and take our defective shit, but we're not gonna go there.
The other part of it is you're trying to innovate and do something before the US, because I see it even more than, hey, we don't want Bitcoin for payment, because you've signed a contract, you know what it is that you're gonna get, and in here we stipulated what we will return. But in terms of blocking you from being more progressive than I am at this point in time, the conversation around marijuana and decriminalization and all those things come to mind, because because
the lane that we put you in.
I can free it up at a state level, and I can use the argument that it's just a handful of states. It's not federal law to keep you from being able to do it as a small little country in a Jamaica and block you legally and stop money from flowing, stop banks from interacting with a whole big industry just because I don't want you to be more progressive than I am.
Start innovating outside of the boundaries that they place on you will find you in problems, and it has happened in the Caribbean over and over again.
Yeah.
But so guys, quickly moving on because we have our guest here. So Facebook has entered the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. The audio chat, that is, and they are going after Twitter Spaces neck. Okay, they're going after Clubhouse neck. Okay, and they're saying Spotify,
we see
you. Okay, so they have earlier in April they had announced that they were looking into some audio features, a suite of audio features that they want to release, and now it's here. So, but of course, when Facebook rolling out something, they only roll it out to a select few verified users, creators, groups, and in this case, some podcast partners. And it's only going to be available in the US as of right now. So what they roll out is what they call live audio rooms, which is the exact same thing as Twitter Spaces. Like exact same thing. It looks the same. It functions the same with a little bit more extra stuff. Because in these Facebook Live audio rooms, you can book a speaker ahead of time. You can book somebody to speak ahead of time on like Twitter Spaces, etc. So you have extra perks, yes, but it's the exact same thing. And of course, they're going to be releasing Facebook podcasts as well for, again, users in the US and only a select few users. But if you are in the US and you are a Facebook user, you can listen in on chats in these live audio rooms, as well as you can listen to the podcast on the platform. Now, we are always the last to get stuff. So we don't know how long before it reach here. It probably reach Brazil before it reaches, because that's usually how it goes. But we're going to wait and see, because Facebook dating is still not in the Caribbean, and Facebook dating is a big thing, and it's still not in the Caribbean, and it's been out for a while.
Instagram Reels is not in the Caribbean.
And Instagram Music is not here yet, and it's been a while. So we may not get it for the next 100 years, but we will see. And the last news item, guys, is that Rockefeller Records is suing Damon Dash, who is a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, over his attempt to NFT the hell out of Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. Okay?
So they didn't have a conversation first?
Apparently not. So Damien Dash, who's the co-founder of RAF, has partnered with an NFT platform called Superfarm to auction Reasonable Doubt. Now, this is what according to Superfarm, and this is what they had in their advertisement, right?
Yeah.
one of the most significant NFT auctions to date
Yeah.
because hawking the album off as an NFT means whosoever buys it more is now the owner, and as owner, they have rights to all future revenue generated by the album. Okay, but RF saying, first of all, Damien Dash have no right to be auctioning off company's assets. He's a minority shareholder, so we don't know what he's on. But Damien Dash is saying, guys, chill, okay? What I'm doing is selling my interest. I'm NFTing my interest in the album, and Rockefeller or Jay-Z will still maintain administrative rights over the album. And RF is like, do I
Hell
look
no.
stupid to you? Do I look stupid to you?
And an NFT can only be owned by one person.
That's the whole point of NFT. NFTs, it gives the owner exclusive rights over that thing. So Damien Dash saying it's only partial rights is antithetical to what an NFT actually is and how it actually works. So yeah, we are there, you know.
Problematic.
And, problematic. So yeah. So anyways, guys, that's it. If you guys want to read more about these stories after the show, you can check our Twitter for links to all the stories we featured in this segment. Okay, guys, we'll be right back with our technically speaking, and we're going to be looking at gaming. All right, guys, so
we'll have some people. We're ready.
I was researching for this segment, Mo.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking 300 billion US dollars.
What would you do?
I need 0.1% of that to be good for the rest of my life. Right? It's a lot of coins. It's a lot of money, right? And you know, gaming over the past couple of years have made some millionaires out of people. There's this guy called Ninja. I think his name is actually Tyler Bevins, and he has made millions as a gamer. Okay, just playing games and creating a brand around that. And then there is the world champion of online brand building and making money from anything, including gaming, Mr. PewDiePie. Okay? PewDiePie, who is one of the biggest YouTubers and one of the biggest gamers in the space, or well, let's just say content creator, gaming content creator.
Yeah.
He has made, last year, he made $15 million just doing that alone. Just that alone. Ninja, Tyler Bevins, made $17 million. And I mean, it's just a lot of millions of dollars being thrown around.
Yeah.
So clearly, there is money to be made.
Yeah.
And then we have some Jamaican gamers in the space. So we have Kyle, KVLE official, with, are you seeing this?
Yes.
With over 364 subscribers on YouTube. Okay. And if you should go to the about section, 54 million and odd views. Just views. Okay. No, this is a brand. Okay. This is not, oh, I play some games. This is brand. Yeah. And we have Yanrique, right? Who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's a gamer, Jamaican, and he has 210 million views on the platform.
Yeah.
They're all Jamaican. They're both Jamaicans living in Jamaica, earning money, playing games online. I mean, proper brand. Look at it. Nice, snappy stuff. And this is just on YouTube. These guys have major platforms on Instagram as well. So clearly, Mo.
Yeah.
Clearly.
There's a market. There's a huge market
in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
for gaming. And
Yeah.
somebody says, Legacy says, don't forget Dream, who used PewDiePie to catapult himself into millions of views and money. There you go. There you go. There's a market. There's not just a global market, there's a market in the Caribbean. So whether you are a developer, a player, a content creator, or even a marketer, because you have people who make very cozy living marketing, distributing, and publishing games. So today we are talking to Glen Henry. Welcome, Glen, to the show. Hi, Glen. And we're talking to Zane Francis, and we understand that unfortunately Raccine is having some issues, so she may be on later, and they're going to be talking to us about one, what they do, because Zane is an indie games developer, and so is Glen, but Glen owns his own studio, Sprite Range, right here in Jamaica. Yes, and there is even a game developer society right here in Jamaica. And how could we forget our boys, the Petty Cooks? Okay, how could we forget them? Street Boys, JA. Okay, some of our favorite peoples
Yeah.
in this space. I see Street Boys in here somewhere. Hi, Akeem. Hey guys, morning. Who have been developing this amazing game? Can't forget them. So some things happening in this space. Yeah, some things happening in this space. So welcome Zane, welcome Glen. Glen, I think you're muted.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning. So, guys, it's enough money we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, indeed.
We're talking about a lot of money. So, how then can Jamaicans tap into that? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? How can we make some money? First of all, before we even go there, guys, Glen, tell us about Sprite Range. What is Sprite Range exactly?
Okay. So Sprite Range is really the vehicle by which I kind of been just pushing out my creative work. If it's illustrations or if it's interactive projects. I've been doing it for a little bit of time, and I kind of just formalized everything in like 2019. But yeah, it's just the way in which I marketing and pushing all the little projects that I'm working on, be it on PC, be it on mobile, be it wherever. Mostly focusing on like narrative and like character design projects.
Yeah.
But, I'm not ruling out any other thing that catches my eye.
Somebody has a fan on?
Yeah, I'm double checking that. I think that is me.
Okay.
Hear me now?
Okay. A little bit.
There might be some outside sounds. All right.
Okay. All right. So what do you do at Sprite Range Studio? You make mobile games.
Make mobile and PC primarily.
Yeah.
I am. It's an indie studio. I say solo-ish because I do collaborate with other people. I collaborate with people on audio, and I collaborate with people on QA. But I am the primary dev, designer, and artist behind most of the work. So if you look at my stuff on Google Play, if you look at it on Steam, I'm doing 70 to 90% of the art there, and I'm doing 100% of the code.
So you create the characters. You do everything pretty much.
Yeah, solo-ish.
You're an all-rounder. I mean, guys, I've spoken to Glen before. Glen act cute, but Glen does everything. Okay? He's super talented. He does everything. Okay. So that's Sprite Range. Zane.
Hi.
You're a software developer.
Yes.
But then now you make games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a software developer by day, and I spend every waking second outside of that honing my game dev craft and putting stuff out there. I mean, well, I've put stuff out on itch in the past. I haven't gotten to Steam as yet, but Steam is in the works this year. Like Glen, it's mostly just me, but recently I put together a team to help with music, writing, and QA. So I'm doing a lot better now because not doing everything on your own makes a huge difference in game development.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know what you guys do. So you both make games. Glen, you have your own studio, and that's your primary, that's your business. That's how you eat, right?
Well, yeah, it helps. I do have another day job that I juggle both, but those skill sets complement each other.
Okay, good. So So guys, tell us from the game developer's perspective how you go about making games, selling games, and getting money. How does that actually work?
Okay, so as a developer, it really depends on the platform. If you are targeting
Glenn, somebody is asking if you could talk a little louder.
all right, testing 1 2, better.
He's a soft, sexy voice, ladies. Y'all just gonna have to, okay?
Turn it up, you know?
Yeah. All right. So, in terms of monetizing your games, if you're targeting PC, you have to release on Steam. It is the juggernaut in the market. It controls 90% of the market. So you have to develop and release for that platform. A number of other publishers and consoles exist, Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, but they tend to be a little bit prohibitive in terms of getting access onto those platforms. Actually, one of our members, what do we call him? The medium volume member of the JG, Graham, just showcased his project Super Space Club, which is coming to Xbox this year soon. TM. He did that at E3, so that's another avenue there. So it's really getting onto the platform, and then the platforms will push the games to the gamers, and then you would get revenue from that after the platform holder takes a share.
Okay, so would you say that in that space, game development? I'm just trying to understand. Is game development, you said, the larger portion of the pie in the gaming industry?
As a that's a different question. All right, so
I thought that's what I heard you say. Or you're saying that getting on this particular platform is kind of where it's at?
Yeah.
As a console, getting on consoles is kind of where it's at right now because of how it can be. PC.
So getting your games on these video game consoles like Nintendo, Playboy, Xbox, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
PlayStation, not Playboy.
Yeah, right. I heard that one.
Playboy?
You said.
I don't know what Playboy is. So yes. So that's where the money at. Where the money is at. Okay. So you have to make the game, and you have to then. Do you sell it to them? Is that how it works?
No. You don't sell the rights. The platform holder is really just a storefront. It's like a marketplace for the game itself. So you retain the IP, you retain the rights, and what happens is, as a part of that sale, the platform holder takes a cut. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say what that cut is, but it takes a cut. And you.
It's a big cut, isn't it?
Price?
It's not.
Yeah, you do set the price.
You set the price. It's not a big cut, but
it could be less.
It's substantial.
It could be less. Steam takes more than they need to take. As Epic is trying to show everybody, as including Apple and Android, Google, sorry. Because I mean, if you know about the recent lawsuits with Epic going after Apple and so on because of the cuts that they want to take, Epic is on the front of trying to reduce the cuts that everybody is taking, so that the development space can become more lucrative and and competitive and invite more people into the space.
Okay. So I'm guessing from that what Glenn said, it looks like they take a big chunk.
I think it's a big chunk. Glenn seems to think not.
Okay. And you guys can't say what that cut is, or it's an industry secret, or
it's not so much an industry.
It's not a secret.
It's common knowledge, but I don't want to run the risk of breaching any contractual obligations.
Oh, you're on the contract. Sorry. We don't want to disrupt the coins. Okay, all right, no problem. So Zane, what about you? It's kind of the same question. How, as a game developer, can you make money? So Glenn is saying that one of the biggest ways to make money is to get your product on these consoles. What are some other ways you can make money? Because you're an independent game developer, you're not a big giant company. So how, as an indie game developer, you can make money outside of that route?
Well, whereas that is probably the primary route you want to go, other routes that people take, because rather than selling the game, one of the biggest things right now is free video games.
right.
Monetizing through ads is
Yeah.
possibly one of the biggest, and also in-app purchases. One of the biggest examples of the in-app purchases, I love to refer to them, is Clash of Clans and Clash Royale.
And these are what games?
Yeah,
Yep.
these are games.
Okay.
These are very popular games. Clash of Clans has been going on since about 2014, 15.
Okay.
And I since then, I've known people in Jamaica who have found ways to spend money in that game in a country where Visa debit cards weren't even that popular, well, not common at the time. You're talking about $480 million in revenue last year for Clash of Clans and Clash Royale just in 2020. And that is coming from in-app purchases. So people, you will make a video game and
It's free.
Yeah, you
But
make a video game, it's free. You put skins in the game so you can make your characters look different, and people will pay premium for that.
Yeah.
You put ads in the game. Many of us have played those games where you're playing, and then you run out of energy. And then when you're out of energy, they're like, oh, you can watch this ad to get some more energy so you can continue playing.
Yeah.
So ad revenue is the other one, because you're getting money per impression, you're getting money per click.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's one of the more popular ones nowadays, because getting the game in front of people is a big deal, and making it free is one of the easiest ways to break that barrier down.
Right. So these are mobile games, yeah?
Mobile, console, PC, everywhere.
So you can make free games for PC?
Oh,
For console,
there are tons of games that are free on console. I mean, yeah, like apart from when developers make some games, they'll enter agreements with Epic or PlayStation, and they will basically buy volume from you and then give that away for free on their platform. So you would get upfront money, but apart from that, you simply have games that people are just publishing for free with the expectation that people will purchase things in the game. You mentioned Ninja earlier.
Yeah.
The biggest example of this type of making money is Fortnite. As Michael just said in the chat, Fortnite is the biggest example. Fortnite is completely free. The part that you can buy skins in the game, and that's how they make all their money. Apex Legends is another extremely popular one, free. And these are AAA games.
And somebody said Candy Crush.
Candy Crush is also very free and also makes very money.
Very very money. Because I remember back in the day on Facebook, where I would play all these games. These are the farm games, these are the Candy Crush games. I was obsessed. I was seriously obsessed, because I had to come home by a certain time because I had pot on the stove in my game. And I didn't want my food to spoil. I'm serious.
But even listening to all of this also reminds me of Kim Kardashian, because she released a game and it was beauty related, and she made a lot of money based on in-app purchases. Because if I remember correctly, it was probably a freemium model, like you mentioned. It probably was free to download or very cheap to download, but then you could dress your character and them fabulous, and their community fabulous. So persons were buying all of these in-app purchases, and she made a killing.
Yeah, and somebody says there are ads as well. You can get ad share revenue from the ads.
Yeah.
Okay, great, guys. So we talked about sending it to, as a video game developer, you can get it on the console, or you can do these other things where you make this free game, but then you earn money either licensing it or selling it to whosoever, or from in-app purchases, skins, etc. But what about on the other side now, as a game player? If you are somebody who's into playing games, right? How can you make money from that? Because when I was doing the research, they're saying that 173 billion of that 300 odd billion is actually coming from people playing the games. They're making money through ad revenue. They're making money through creating communities that buy merch. You see, guys, you see what I tell you, say? It is more than just selling your product. The value added from building a brand is so much these days, because you build a brand, You can add merch to the brand. You can sell the process of building the brand. So you can sell the process in and of itself. Yeah. You can collaborate with other people and sell whatever that collaboration is. So just from having a brand, you can earn
A lot of offshoots.
a lot of value added money from
Yeah.
it. So guys, tell us some of the ways that these gamers are actually
Monetizing.
monetizing and making money.
Well, you mentioned one of the ways earlier when you pointed to YouTube. That YouTube is trying to, I mean, of course, YouTube is making very money as well, but
very money.
the other platform, the main platform that people run to is Twitch. And you have a fair amount of Jamaicans on Twitch. I mean, one of the problems we'll have is finding Jamaicans on Twitch because you can't just search for Jamaicans, but there are a fair amount. I know a couple, and I'm sure there are many out there that I don't know. But the same thing
earlier. Sorry to cut you off, Zane. You showcased a couple earlier, right?
Yeah, so I'm going back to it to show you. So this is Yanrique on YouTube, and you can see his views are up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
people
how would you say Yanrique is making money? You know, theoretically speaking, how could he be using this to make money?
Straight up, he has that many viewers. If he has, how many subscribers does he have? 364,000?
1.25 million.
Oh,
sir.
okay. So it was
Yes, sir.
somebody else.
Yes,
It was the other person with 3.
Yes, it was Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this person has 1.25 million subscribers. If they're doing YouTube live and they are not just posting videos, I mean, apart from posting the videos, they're getting ad revenue per view over time. And then if they're doing live as well, what they're able to do is get from what does YouTube call it again? Super chat. You have super chat, and
you have super chat where some people can give you money
directly to be able to talk, so you can point out your chat, and then you have their other version of, because they already have a subscribe button, but they have another button which you can pay to support directly on people. So it's basically the same setup as Twitch. You also run ads, like YouTube will run ads in your channel once you're a partner of a certain level, and you'll get a part of that ad revenue as well. So both this and Twitch run the same way in terms of that. It's just playing and people watching, they're donating to you while you're playing. People just put up some subscriber goals on their stream, like, you know, when I get to 50 more subscribers, then I will do some exciting thing on the stream. Or people will literally subscribe to you just so that they can play with you. So I mean, the better you're at a game, people are like, oh, well, I want to play with this person. I will subscribe to them for the next 3 months and join the line to play with them. So it's about building that brand.
And the competitive streak kind of comes out.
Yeah.
Because, Go
another
ahead,
avenue is sponsorship. Once you hit like a certain like size of your audience, your community, you can start approaching brands and build out deals and stuff like that. Like I know a number of people who have watched streams would have heard about Raid, Shadow Legends, like things like that.
Oh, yes.
Like those kind of deals are actually on the table once you've built up a community of a certain size.
Yeah, and again, some of the other ways too, as you said earlier, was once you become popular in that space, you can actually somebody Zamibaru says there are paid subscriptions.
Yeah.
Also, right. And I think YouTube has a membership option
now,
and of course there's Patreon. You can sign up for Patreon and all these other platforms. But then you can, if the more popular you get, you can sell merch. You can have your own shirts, your own branded merchandise.
The end goal for
that's
most
like
people.
Step 2,
goals.
Right?
Goals.
There's a tried and true method, and guys, Raccine is here. Hey, Raccine! Oh,
Hi,
finally!
Raccine.
Thank God she's here. Raccine, we're talking about how, as a player, you can make money in gaming. And you also guys have persons. So if you're not a gamer, as in you play the game, you can actually create what they call gaming content. You can organize matches, or you can organize what you guys call it.
Have a lot of like
tournaments.
Yeah, so you're going. Sounds like you're going into esports now, and that is also a huge way to make money
Yes,
Yeah,
let's talk
in
about that.
gaming.
it's
Yes.
definitely adjacent to game dev, not necessarily focused on the development aspect, but totally adjacent to it.
Right. So how do you make money in esports?
Athletics, it's really similar to athleticism. It's just mainly based on, the more electronic aspect of it, where you have to train for your tournaments or your matches or whatever it is, and they'll have a prize pool. I think Dota 2 actually has the world record for the amount of money that was made available during a prize pool, if I'm correctly recalling, like some like a couple millions of USDs. Like, was it like 40 million? I have to double check that, but yeah, it was around there. But Dota 2 has a
That's a
record
lot
for
of
that.
money.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
I
So
can't
these
even
are
imagine
actual
that right
And
now.
that was a
players.
cash prize.
These are
That
actual
was the
players
prize
that
pool.
are
Mm-hmm.
that are combating each other, and like the best player wins.
Right.
So is it that the player put money in this pool or the game developer put money in this pool? Where did that come in
Publishers.
another?
The
Oh, so
sponsors of the
everybody throw money in
tournament.
the pot.
No, the
Yeah,
sponsors of the tournament
companies.
mainly. Yeah.
So what guys, what would the, so, well, I'm supposing that what the company gets out of it is the popularization of the game.
That's one thing they get out of it.
What's the other
Because
thing they get out of it? Because that's so like,
Because it does sell it does sell the game, but the sponsors typically aren't only just and more often than not, it's not even the developer of the game. The sponsors will be hardware companies. You're talking about, there's a game right now called Smite. It's one of the popular MOBAs behind Dota and League of Legends. Alienware which is owned by Dell, is sponsoring that tournament, and every player in that tournament, I think it's 40 people, and people at the studio that makes the game has gotten like a $4,000 computer from Alienware. So the sponsors putting money and product into the tournament as well as a big deal, because what happens is that then pushes people to buy their hardware. So it's not necessarily just the game developer or the publisher or whichever company that's directly related to the game, but anybody who is in the gaming industry will throw money in there because they will all benefit.
Oh.
And having certain persons as influencers using your equipment, using your hardware, playing your game, because some of these games are monthly subscriptions. So by virtue, yeah, sure, I give you this, I give you all the trinkets and stuff to play my game, but you're gonna pay me $10 a month for the next X years. So
yeah, that's very
I'm
much
gonna
true.
get it back. Yeah.
I've seen so many casual like Dota 2 players with 16,000 hours of playtime on Dota 2 getting paid nothing, and they're spending thousands of dollars per year on this one game. So it's totally a worthwhile investment on behalf of the companies.
Yeah. Sure. Raccine, tell us about marketing. How do you make money marketing? Because this is one thing I wanted to understand. That this is something Glen said in an interview recently. Glen said you can make money. There are many ways you can make money in the gaming space. It doesn't just have to be as a player or as a developer, but you may have an existing skill that you can bring over into the industry that you can make money from. And one of those skills could be marketing. So is it Raccine? Is it Raccine?
Raccine. You were saying it correctly.
Raccine. Okay, good. How do you make money marketing in the gaming industry? Because you are the founder of Games Marketing Essentials, yeah?
Yeah, we're totally rebranding that to Games Community Essentials or Games Community Garden. But yeah, I definitely would say I focus mainly on marketing, community, and communications. I love community and DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion above all else. And mainly one of the ways you can focus on making money through that is working with indie developers or AAA studios, depending on what your preference is. During the earlier portion of my career, I mainly worked with indie studios because that's a great way to get a foot in the door into the industry. And I found that at that time, that was somewhere where I found a lot of enjoyment in terms of working with smaller studios to help push their games out there, develop their communities, and get that base ready, that player base ready for them to actually have that longevity in terms of their games. So mainly freelancing. You can do a lot of freelancing. You can work as a marketing or community or communications manager with various companies depending on what they require. That's the typical route. Or you can start your own agency. I actually know a few people through Games Community Garden who have their own agencies that they're operating right now to assist indie studios specifically, as that's a huge growing market right now where a lot of people are entering the indie space as developers, people who may not have previously been interested in it. So it's a huge opportunity for people who are working in communications, community, and marketing to actually, start helping them, whether that's through crowdfunding, like on Kickstarter, or simple things like getting their Discord community set up and so on and so forth. So those are some simple ways to actually start earning within that space as someone working in community.
I'm also earning. What how much money? Cause we like figures over here. On average, what could you earn?
Yeah, it like I said, it heavily depends on the studio that you're working with. Community is one of those roles that can be heavily undervalued, but if you're working with a place like Red Bull or any organizations like that, you can get up to 100K USD or more per year, depending on the institutions that you're working with. So it's one of those things where it heavily depends on where you're working in the industry, because indie studios aren't likely to push out 120K USD a year for a community manager, but you'll see that more often than not in AAA studios, or I can't even say all of them, not even AAA studios, but more esports centric organizations. And I mean, I mentioned Red Bull Gaming, and you have DeviantArt and other places like that that are willing to actually fairly compensate their community management.
Oh, okay. So you say you're not gonna give me $1 figure, is that what you're saying? Because you said all of that, I'm still not hear the dollar figure yet.
I did mention a dollar figure. I'm saying, like, it depends on where you're working. I mean, up to like I said, up to 120K from certain organizations.
Freelancer, because you're a freelancer mostly. So as a freelancer, what does that look like?
Yeah, that varies from time to time, place to place. I'm sure you know the grind with that too. Yeah, depending on the client base that you're working with and your hourly rate, and if you're doing consultations on the side as well, it can really fluctuate. I know some freelancers who are making 10K per month comfortably, and they're good with that, and that's off with 2 clients, right? So it really depends.
So basically what you do is you probably, work with like a Zane or a Glen to get their products to market.
Yeah, I'd work with them to get their products to market, develop their community, because that's also what I mainly focus on. And yeah, get that ready for people to feel comfortable to engage in their space about these games. Or I've been focusing less on pushing out games more and more on like the community and diversity, equity, and inclusion side of things, where I'm more or less focused on creating safe and inclusive spaces for people to interact.
Okay, awesome stuff. Now we have some other things on our list here as ways that you can make money. Our next guest is coming up, but he's having a little technical difficulty, so I have time to talk about money. Yay! So how do you make money as a retailer? Somebody who sells games, whether it's online or you have a physical retail store still is that
the GameStop just like went off the hinge last year, because GameStop is probably the only physical retail store that I can think of that matters. But I mean,
GameStop is a fluke. People were protesting and decided to stick it to the man, and they got caught up in that in the right way.
It still went up again last week.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did. But I mean, in terms of popularity overall, that's still kind of questionable, Zane. It's like,
retail
aside
overall,
from the meme,
retail overall is questionable at this point in time. If you're not Steam or Epic or PlayStation, what are you?
So these are big retailers. Steam,
they're
digital
retail.
Oh, they're digital. You see. So these are online businesses. And what they do, they sell the games.
That's a storefront that I would have mentioned earlier. They are the ones that so just to piggyback off of that, so most of the players right now are shifting to digital, right? But what you see also cropping up is limited runs of physical releases. So if your game becomes popular enough, like Hades last year just came out and this was the indie darling for everyone. Everyone loved Hades. I loved Hades.
Yeah.
You find like a couple months later they'll do a limited run of physical release for when they shift to consoles or something to that effect. Because there are people who enjoy the game so much that they will buy that for the collector's aspect. But as a mode of primary getting into the market, most people are doing digital right now.
Yeah, and I mean, as an independent game developer, you can do it yourself. You can work with a Raccine and do it yourself, because Glen, you publish your own games, no?
Yeah.
Right, and you so your mobile games, they're on iOS or just on Google Play?
iOS, they're currently on Android.
They're currently what?
On Android.
No iOS, you said?
Not yet.
It's
okay,
coming.
so they're currently on Android, and you publish them to that platform yourself, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what about you, Zane?
Currently, I'm targeting Steam. Before this, I did have one of my games on Android, but I took it down. Everything else I've left on itch, which is another platform. Which mostly, if you're going to use it, you kind of have to do like your own marketing and stuff like that to push your stuff to people. There's some amount of help you can get from itch, but yeah, self-publishing. Nobody's looking at physical copies. That's a cost that nobody
wants to take on.
Guys, Raccine said something, and somebody asked Raccine, "What's the most money you've ever made as a freelancer?" You want to answer that, or
and I probably shouldn't.
None your business kind of thing. Can you give us a ballpark figure, like? That's a no. That's a no.
Yeah.
Raccine said no. Okay,
No.
all right. But Raccine, you said something about community, helping people build community. Guys, how important is building a community around your gaming brand? How important is that to you making money?
It's probably the most important part. It's probably the most important part. If you have no community, nobody knows that your game exists.
Right.
So
there's a common indie trope of building a good game and they will come. That's a lie. You need to begin marketing from like day one, or considering how people are going to be, finding out about your game, interacting with the media around your game, all of that stuff. That has to happen from day one. From you building up the pitch, from the initial idea, you have to think about how people will be hearing about the game, just like with any project or product.
Yeah. Somebody says Densford Bailey is asking, what are the challenges or the roadblocks to tapping into the gaming industry?
Well, personally, the biggest roadblock is finishing the game.
As in because you're the only one working on it and you have your full-time job, so it gets hard.
Yeah, but I would love to pivot back to that whole point about community as well. The way communities can manifest themselves is completely different depending on the platforms that you decide to use, how you decide to distribute your game, and what kind of game it is. There are a lot of games like MMORPGs, which are massively multiplayer online role-playing games that actually do require more formally established community bases, which can be done through platforms like Reddit or Discord, other places and platforms that are similar to that accommodate that space, Gilded, right? But if you have perhaps a solar player game that mainly focuses on more retro game aspects, your community may not necessarily be established in a way that an MMORPG's community might be, but you'll still have some form or some semblance of a community across platforms, whether or not you actively work on developing that. And those are people looking for that nostalgic feeling that comes from playing your game, right? So how you utilize your community will definitely be vastly different depending on what kind of game you're making or what kind of company or what you intend to do.
Okay. Somebody is saying, Roy Livingston said, you can also be an editor. You can edit and create the videos they upload, add effects and necessity that add spice to the content.
A lot of the content creators that you see online aren't actually the ones editing their stuff. They're just playing the game, and then they send it to somebody who they're paying to edit their content and put it up. Who has time to stream for 4 hours in the night and then go edit that and upload it for tomorrow morning?
Then also, as you're talking about the streaming, people probably also pay for production because you mentioned about things coming up on the screen when certain milestones are
Yeah,
hit or when
yeah.
so there's a popular gamer, they have some audio bites, I'm hearing it in my head, are you kidding me, like,
Yeah.
things
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah. And
happen.
people
Girl,
make money doing that. You
yeah,
make money
Yeah.
selling these elements because you see a lot of these small people popping up who are selling like the card or the screen or the design. I don't know how you the screen set up
Overlays.
on
The overlays.
the
yeah,
overlays. Thank you. The
yeah,
overlays and
for how you
the
can do your
people who make
stream,
the sound bites and stuff. So
yeah,
there's
and
different
production people.
ways. Yes, there are
And
different
just
ways everybody can get in and nibble a little bit on the
On the
pie,
pie.
and kind of
That's
yeah,
make money
true.
from that.
just to add to that.
G2. Sorry, Glenn.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying, just to add to that, just in terms of editors as well, they're illustrators. Like there is a non-negligible group of Jamaicans who are making their living making like Twitch emotes. They're doing the
I was
symbols and
about to
stuff
say the
like that.
same
Making
thing.
what, Glenn?
The
Twitch what?
emotes.
Twitch emotes, like they're little
The emotes,
Emojis.
the emojis that come up on Twitch.
personalized
Yeah.
emojis for their
Really?
platforms. Yeah, yeah. So they
That's
get
solely what they do.
Yay.
There are people on Etsy who just do
Wow.
that.
Yeah, not even on Etsy, but even on Twitter, because the other day I'd actually commissioned some emotes for my Twitch channel.
There you go.
Yeah, I do actively stream on Twitch as well. So I totally get, there's so many different ways to actually get involved in that. And some Twitch emote creators make bank. I will tell you that. Some of them make bank. The artist that I had worked with, she has her commissions available. You can see everything that's in progress. And I saw her stacking commissions to the point where it looked like she was making 3,000 plus USD per month. And I was sitting there like,
Wow. Okay. So you see, guys, you don't have to be gamers. You can just have different talents as an editor, whether it's an audio editor or a video editor, or somebody who, illustrator, or
You
people
could be
who
a
can make
writer.
animated stuff, or writers. There you go. Character
Yeah.
designers, storyboard, all of these things, marketing.
Actually, I'd
All
like
of
to
these
piggyback
law,
on
even law, you can even help people secure their intellectual property around their games and etc. So coins all
Is
over the
there?
place.
Yes,
I'd
Zane,
like
you
to
were
point
saying.
out one job that might be extremely useful to people out there who might have this skill, but we in the Caribbean we're basically lumped into the Latin American group, and one of the target markets that people might go after is Latin America and anywhere that speaks any other language really. We have a lot of people in Jamaica who do speak Spanish, and just translating it into Spanish, Portuguese,
localization.
anything, just
Look at
localizing your
this.
game is an entire job.
Look
And you
at
can get
this.
jobs like that sitting at home online right now to localize a game that somebody made in Kazakhstan. So
Yeah, you do still
like
need a
it's
portfolio for that as well, though,
yes.
which could be a
Wow.
little problematic
Mhm.
if you're just
Wow.
trying to start in.
Somebody's asking though, any advice for people who wants to start their own channel? I know Raccine, you have your own Twitch channel. Any advice you could give them about starting?
Yeah, I know kind of crossing that hurdle of getting the channel set up and your Twitch emotes or your overall branding, and then just interacting with like the different bots that you'll need to work with or the different elements and things like that. It can seem really intimidating at first, but definitely just getting something simple set up. Just starting. I see someone in the chat saying just start. That's very much true. Obviously, you want to have a little bit of consistency with that. Make sure you're very clear about your scheduling as well. You don't necessarily need to have this super set in stone schedule, but make sure your community that you'll be developing knows that, hey, I prefer to stream on these days, even though it's not consistent. You'll catch me at this time, right? I noticed that having that set over time allows your community to get used to your scheduling and actually build that relationship with you, which will allow you to blossom within that space. So definitely just start. Don't worry too much about the branding. Don't worry too much about that. When I had started, I relaunched it this year, I definitely went all out on my branding and everything. But generally speaking, you don't need to worry about all of that starting out. Just start. There are a lot of free options available through these different websites for overlays and things like that. Just put it together and get started.
Okay, and you can improve over time. Yeah.
That improve over time. I want to point out to people that you don't have to be great at video games to be a streamer. There are actually people out there whose entire brand is how bad they are at video games.
That would
Yeah.
be
People
me.
will, yes, because they're there for the streamer. So don't be afraid to go out there and try. Because if you're worried about whether people are going to be watching, forget that.
They will laugh.
Turn it off so you can't even see how many people are watching you.
That
and
is
just
so
stream.
true.
And then once people are in the chat and you're engaging with the chat and so on, people will enjoy just watching you be bad at this video game. And
That's
you
so
know
true.
they will.
People
Yeah,
watch
you know,
me
you
to be
know,
bad at games.
the world is a strange place these days. People will pay money to watch you fail at things. Believe
Yes.
that. Shane Parkins is asking, where do 3D content creators fall in? I want to build games, but I don't know everything.
I don't know everything. I don't know everything at all. 3D content creators can start in many places. I mean, if you're a 3D content creator, you can pick up Unreal or Unity and you can learn. They provide enough resources that you can learn, as long as, yes, there's some amount of technical understanding you might have, but these things have come closer and closer to being easier and easier to use.
Yeah.
And with enough tutorials out there, you can make something simple. But if you want, building games is not, yeah, I'm a game programmer, but everybody in the team is a game developer, whether you're an artist, a writer, whatever you are, QA, you're all developers. So if you are a 3D content creator and you want to create, one of the best things build games, one of the things you can do is continue to make your content and put it out there on places like sketchfab.com, put your stuff on ArtStation. People are always looking for content there. Like I don't do 3D modeling. I use I buy assets from these stores. I commission assets.
Ooh, which is another way you can make money.
Exactly. So create your content, get it on places like Sketchfab, ArtStation, get noticed, and put some free stuff out there to wet people's whistle, and then give them the
wet their whistle.
Yeah, and then
Selling
give them
assets is a great way to
the
make
high
passive
quality
income.
version for money. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Sketchfab is a great place.
And just building on that, another way of generating content, especially if you're just getting started out, is just show the learning process. Show you taking that.
Yes,
cube
people
and
like
so-
behind the scenes content.
Yeah, just building out that cube and then figuring out how to integrate it into Unity, how to integrate it into Unreal, and show all the steps leading up to the project, leading up to the end project. It may not be perfect, but at the worst case, at the end of the day, 5 people have watched it, and you have a portfolio of work.
There you go.
You can show people.
And they grow with you over time because they're watching your progress from just starting to being this professional. Michael Knight is asking, what game engines do you guys recommend, 2D or 3D?
I don't
even know what he means.
No, I do know what he means.
2D versus 3D.
It's hard to just throw it out there and be like, oh, I recommend 2D. No, it depends on what you
Yeah.
want to make. So both, like, depending on what you want to make, you're going to choose your engine. Depending on your skill sets, you're going to choose your engine. I personally would recommend anybody who wants to get in there to pick up Unity or Unreal Engine. But other people might say Godot. It really depends on what your familiarity level is. But I'm a proponent for Unity or Unreal Engine, which are both
because those are
completely
the
free.
two biggest. And they're also the two biggest free.
And you can publish to
freely
any
available.
platform with them.
But there are two
Okay.
different benefits to using those as well. You'll find that like larger studios will tend to use Unreal Engine a bit more just for that post-processing quality. While you can achieve the same thing in Unity, you have to take a few more steps to achieve that as far as more.
There's some
Okay, I'm just going to shake my head and act like I understand what you guys are saying. It's true to Unity and the thing. It's great. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you should
Thank
have
you,
seen me. I
guys.
wrote down engine. I was like, engine? Okay, yeah, Unreal Engine. Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Glen, Zane, Raccine. I'm sorry you were on so late.
Yes, JPS
but-
decided to bully me.
No, JPS always at the time when you
Right?
Can't defeat
Right? As I was
JPS.
getting-
JPS always wins.
JPS watch this. Nope. All right, guys. Glenn, you want to say
Yeah.
something?
No, I was just saying, fingers crossed before we get cut off.
But,
Right?
anything to plug, guys who have something coming up, who's selling something. Talk to us about it. Tell us where we can find you online so we can support your efforts.
Okay. Well, you can find me on pretty much everywhere as Sprite Wrench. Currently, my latest project is Quest Life Pocket, which is available on the Google Play Store. Play it. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. I'm open to all feedback right now. I'm still building on the game and improving things. That's me.
Awesome. Zane?
Okay, I'll go. Well, you can find myself at, and I just put it down on screen, at Just Dev Studios. My current project I'm working on is called Wash Bear Workshop, and that sounds like nothing to most people, but it's a kind of off-kilter puzzle game. And one of the things that I am proud of with it is that I'm trying to put actual genuine Jamaican voices in there, so I can actually see a video game with actual Jamaican voices for a change.
Yes.
But it's an off-kilter puzzle game, also physics-based. So far it's had
physics-based.
Yeah.
So
far
it's
people have liked it.
edutainment.
Not really.
Oh no, no, they're referring to like the mechanics of the game, not
actually,
necessarily like
Oh,
so
it's not gonna
actual
teach you
physics
physics.
of the world, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the current project. Still working on it, but you can see progress on Just Dev Studios, at Just Dev Studios on Twitter or Instagram.
Okay, Raccine, anything you want to plug?
Oh yeah, totally. I had to edit my name a while ago just to put my Twitter handle in there.
Because Raccine does a lot of things.
Raccine is all over the place.
You are everywhere.
I'm all over the place. You'll find me on Twitter at shown in my name, mainly rambling about community and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how to be multiculturally competent and various things like that. I'm on different projects, spanning different things. You'll often see me working with the gamers and on my own personal projects such as ComSprout and other things, mainly to uplift underrepresented groups within the gaming industry and outside of it, and creating opportunity for marginalized folk to feel comfortable within the gaming space.
She's doing the damn thing in Underworld. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys, one more question. Zami Baru says, question to Zane. How possible is it for Jamaica to reach out to Rockstar to create a GTA Jamaica? Would that be negative or positive market to Jamaica? No idea what he means, but
He's talking about one of the most popular games out there. Hello, Mr. Zamibaru. One of the most popular games out there is GTA, and everybody always talks about how Jamaica is just one of the perfect places to continue a GTA story. How possible is it for Jamaica to reach out to Rockstar? I don't know how Jamaica as a whole would reach out to Rockstar, but on the other hand, I would not want to see any AAA studio taking on some game like that. What I want to see is developers, artists, actors, everybody coming together in Jamaica and the diaspora everywhere, just Jamaicans coming together to make this experience. Whether it be GTA or some open world. And Street Boy.
There's Street Boy. Street Boy is
one open world experience, open world game about that one. Well, I don't think it's a GTA like experience, but it's one. It's less about us reaching out to other people and more about us tapping into the market as a region, as a country, and creating this so that we can create a real experience for people based on what our culture is and what happens here.
Somebody else saying G24 Gaming says an idea, an open world game of Jamaica set in the 17th century at the colonization. British power playing as a maroon general as they fight to protect their home and freedom.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I would play that game.
Right, and I love to emphasize that.
It would be great. It would be cathartic.
Yeah, that's very much valid. It's so tiring seeing all of these outsiders necessarily try to reflect the qualities of the country only you would be able to experience. That's why I love Street Boy so much, because it takes the rural, like Jamaican country aspect of living and it puts it into a game, and you can see some of the brands that you recognize within the game, like Walta and Bigga and like different brands like that. And you can't I don't see an overseas studio necessarily getting that, right?
No.
Yeah.
You can always have consultants and whatever, but seeing games made by Caribbeans for like Caribbean folk. Like that is an entirely different experience than having a huge studio like Rockstar trying to address it. They'll hire
So no
consultants.
foreign white people. Let's make it ourselves, because we are going to take pleasure in shooting some plantation owners. Have
Oh
any
Lord.
of you guys ever seen that Dave Chappelle bit where he shot? I am picturing it. I am picturing it in my head, and I would enjoy that game more. Yes. Okay. So Street Boy has entered the chat, and they say, "Can we talk about the lack of access to equipment for creators living in Jamaica?" Glenn, is that a thing?
If we're talking hardware, yeah, that's definitely a problem, but that seems to just be a digital entrepreneur issue, just in terms of getting in equipment, video cameras.
But Glenn, customs is kind of harsh with the price in terms of like the
exactly
actual money that you need to spend to bring in anything. Even the laptop that I'm using.
Yeah, exactly that. Just getting it in is normally way more than it needs to be. As an illustrator, like I have to shell out 80 USD for a digital pen, just the pen, not the entire pad, and then pay that twice because of customs.
Wow, customs not looking so good this morning. No. All right, guys, we really could continue this conversation, but we're like 20 minutes over time because it's really an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Later this next month, we're going to be having another major conversation just around esports. So, and then we can extend the conversation even further out to talk about that. But guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. Now everybody start jumping upon customs. You see where you start, street boy. All right, guys. Glen, Zane, Raccine, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you guys. Bye. And guys, we need to support our creators, our local creators in these unconventional, non-traditional spaces, because that seems to be where the money is these days. Okay. And everybody can be doctor, some of it shaky, yeah. And everybody can be, an attorney. Certainly, I tried it, didn't like it. Now I'm here. So, guys, there are other ways that we can make legitimate money quicker in some instances, and not having to work for somebody, even though working for yourself is no different. You're your own slave master. But yeah, guys. So before we go off, our next guest is here, Kenardo, who is also a games developer, a self-taught game developer, and he is going to be talking to us about his game ABC, fast or slow. We'll be right back. All right. Hey, Kenardo.
Hi. Morning, everybody. Morning.
Hi.
I like your little throat thing going on.
Yeah,
All right, guys. Let me take away myself.
All right, Kenardo, it is so great to have you on, and I am going to shamelessly plug that Kenardo is one of our Digital Jamaica people to watch for 2021. Happy to have you here with us, Kenardo.
It's a pleasure to be here finally.
All right, so we've been talking about it so far, and so many of us as Jamaicans can remember and can relate to playing ABC fast or slow at school. So what was the motivation behind you actually creating the ABC fast or slow game? Hi, Kenardo? All right, I think that we're having some technical difficulties. Kenardo, Can you hear me? All right. So, guys, from what we've ascertained and from what we know, the ABC Fast or Slow game is actually an app that's available. I know I can access it on Android.
Kenardo, are you back?
Yes, I'm having some difficulties at the moment, but I think I heard the question. What was the motivation behind creating the game?
Yes.
Do we have the time? How much time do we really have this morning?
You have 1 minute to answer this question.
when the motivation, what actually happened, was back in 2016, I had a New Year's resolution list, as most people have at the end of the year. So I decided that on that list, I said that I wanted to create a mobile game. And the mobile game that I actually came up with was ABC Fast or So. The reason being, I'm not really strong on the graphics area, and I believe that the ABC Fast or So will be an easy game for me to accomplish. So that was the motivation, the idea for that game. But January, by the end of January, I totally forgot about that game. I totally forgot about it. The resolution was over. I snapped back to doing what I was doing. But what had actually happened was I saw a post on Instagram from Miss Kitty.
Yeah.
Miss Kitty posted a Throwback Thursday picture. Who remember playing this game?
Yeah.
Who remember playing this game? And it was that ABC Fast or Slow game. And I read through some of the comments. And I saw where a person was saying that they still play the game. I saw where a teacher was saying that she actually introduced this game to a fellow teacher somewhere in Europe. So I immediately went back and started researching how I can get this game done.
Yeah.
That's 2017.
Absolutely love it. So I know it's available on Android. Is it available on iOS as well, or just for Android users for now?
It's available on Android and iOS as well. Both platforms.
Love it. So when you were developing the app, what were some of the challenges that you found, and like how did you navigate those challenges?
All right. The number one challenge I found was just how to get it done initially. That was the main challenge. What development tools I would have to use to get it done. But how I overcame.
Yeah, go ahead. No, man, go ahead.
Yeah. But how I really overcame that problem was going to YouTube and searching for other game developers. There's a lot of YouTube channels that is dedicated just to game developers. So anybody who wants to learn to develop any game, they can find, whether 2D or 3D games, you can find somebody on YouTube doing it. So that's where I went first.
So you used the YouTube to help to teach you how to build and move forward with the game development.
That's right.
All right. So what is your regular, outside of this, what's your background? So we have a bit of context.
All right. I went to UTech, big up Skit. So software is my background. I studied software at UTech. So I've been in software and I also teach part-time as well. So I'm a teacher.
What do you teach?
Part of computer science and information technology and programming as well.
Okay. All right. So you do have a bit of a IT/technical background. And
Correct.
So you teach a bit, and the other, outside of the game, the other thing is, you said mention software, but what kind of software?
Well, for point of sale system for companies, and I used to work at a software development company that involved in school management systems.
Okay. All right. So in terms, so you kind of said it's you teach. So how all of your experiences and stuff kind of come together with you learning and pulling the skills together to create this game?
Wow. I must say it wasn't easy for me. It actually, the process actually started 2017, but the game was published 2020. So you can see that it's a year, 2 years before from initial stage to actually publishing the game. So it was just a gradual process, teaching myself, making mistakes as well, a lot of consultation as well, because I didn't make the game in isolation. Right, so I had a small group of persons that I would consult with what they think about this from their perspective. Other developers, a co-worker of mine at the time created a popular game, and he was one of my motivation as well.
Yeah.
So I used to speak with him as well. So it wasn't done in isolation. Even for the game, the look and feel of the game was done by a good friend of mine, Kerry Dale, over there in Canada. She's an interior industrial design expert from Jamaica as well. So she assisted with the look and the feel of the game and said, no, that would be better. So a lot of that was done as well.
All right. So, since you taught yourself how to do this, what sort of advice would you share with somebody? A lot of the persons in the conversation we're talking about and asking questions and stuff. For somebody who is looking to create a game for the first time, what are some things that you would advise that you would share with them?
First advice, I would say choose a simple game. I would say don't be too ambitious on your first attempt, because what can happen, you might get frustrated and give up on the project. So choose a simpler game and start simple and gradually progress. That's the advice I would give them.
And allow yourself that time to kind of iterate and grow and come again.
Exactly.
Because FIFA never became FIFA just so. And, you know, all of these games that we play, the original version, if you go back there.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, there's been a lot of development to carry to where it is now. So, question, have you been able to monetize ABC fast or slow in any way as yet?
Boy,
asking the heavy hitting.
Yeah. Heavy questions, you know. But it's a very good question. So persons who are interested in these games need to know the actual truth about games.
Yes.
Of course, you have some unicorn games that comes out and it's an immediate hit, some after 2 years. But for ABC, currently it's not really making a lot of money per se. Right now, and I expected that as well. So building the game, I didn't expect it just to take off and I would be rich and set for life. So I know that because the type of game it is, so it's a real-time multiplayer game. So you play it in real time. So it requires a lot of users to be on the system at any one time. Yeah. So it's not making a lot of money. It's some cents, literally some cents per month at this point in time.
Okay.
Just cents.
Yeah, but at least there is something, and there is a hope or an ability for you to kind of leverage and increase. And you may want to talk to somebody like a Raccine to see how, you know, some additional marketing support and stuff can get.
Definitely.
But in terms of getting your game actually on the Google Play Store and on iOS, what was that process like? Was it easy, or was it something that took a lot of like navigation and hurdles?
All right. So to be a developer, Google developer, you pay a one-time subscription fee, a lifetime fee of $20. Okay. So you pay that $20, you can publish as much game as you want to the Google Play Store.
Yeah.
On the other hand, to be a Apple app developer, you pay $100 every year. So it's an annual subscription.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult to get on the Apple App Store than the Google Play Store. Really test it and point out the areas that you should improve. So I really appreciate that from the Apple perspective, Apple App Store perspective, because they really improve the game and the quality of the game. But for the Google Play Store, it's easier to get on the Google Play Store.
Right. Okay. And in terms of the response, though, and the kind of take up, the downloads and stuff that you've seen, what's that response been like from the public?
Wow, I must say, big up to the Jamaicans, because based on the statistics of the game, The game currently on the Google Play Store has over 4,000 downloads on the Google Play Store. It's getting close to the it's getting close to the 5,000 mark. And based on the data, most 88% of the downloads is from Jamaica. So most of the downloads is from Jamaica. On the Apple App Store side, it's about 1,000 plus downloads, and still most of the downloads is still from Jamaica. So I'm really happy that Jamaicans are actually playing this game.
Yeah. All right. And what's next for Kenardo? Are you going to be doing ABC Faster So 2.0? You're moving on to another popular game we used to play. What's next on the agenda?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because if you open ABC Faster Store now, you'll see that it's not completed, especially the offline multiplayer game is yet to be done. So what's next? I'm going to complete the game. Yeah, the game is not complete. I complete the game, add some more features. One of the comments or the feedback I always get is that the categories are too limited. So I'm going to add some more categories in the game as well too. And I also hear the language localization. That's a big deal. So I'm not finished with the game as yet. I see where it can be improved, and I will complete it. I saw somebody, one of your guests a while ago, saying that the hardest thing is to complete the game, and that is true. Actually, completing the game is the hardest part of the game. But you still have to put it out there to get a feedback. Because if I was waiting to complete the game, I would not be here today.
Yes. If you waited for everything to be perfect.
To be perfect.
Yeah. I totally understand that. And that goes for creators overall. And let me just say, you have two wonderful persons with beautiful voices. I don't know how much further you're looking. But Kenardo, how can people find ABC Faster? So I mentioned a couple stuff. How can people access, contact you? Let us know how people can get the app and how they can reach the ABC Fast or Slow team.
All right. Just before that, I just wanted to say shout out to my brother, Chris Cars. He's the actual person, the gameplay sound that you hear, the audio sound. He was the composer and the creator of that, the in-game sounds. So big him up as well, Chris Cars. The game can be, you can get it on the Google Play Store. Search for ABC Faster Slow, the Google Play Store. Also on the Apple App Store, Google ABC Faster Slow, or the official website, www.abcfasterslow.com. You can contact me through those mediums.
Absolutely love it. And it shows too, you're having a complete ecosystem, your website, your apps, and even some social media. So we absolutely love to see it, Kenardo. And we're here to encourage you to continue and, do those other iterations. And for everybody who never know, I have an ABC Faster Slow. I have an app and you can play and you can share with your family who gone overseas, with your friends, for that
anywhere in the world.
Anywhere that they are, to have that kind of group activity, that fun, that games evening. You can even do it virtually. Thank you so much, Kenardo, for joining us on the Digital Jamaica Live Show. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure, Monique.
Love it. Yes, guys. So we're pushing right on to the answer to our trivia question.
Before we jump into the answer for the trivia question, we have some quick updates, guys, that we want to share with you. So
big things are going on.
We had our pop-up talk series, yes, last month, and it was a smash hit, yes. And you guys came out and you learned a lot. And based on the feedback, you guys said you wanted a workshop. And so we listened. And come July 24th and 25th, we are putting on the monetization workshop. and it is going to be, we're going to have Ashley and Dennis. We're going to have Lisa Gay Shakespeare and myself. The three of us are going to be teaching you how you can build and monetize your brand, especially if you are an influencer brand online. Okay. And then we have our second pop-up talk shop coming up next month as well. And this time we are talking about how you, as a highly skilled tech professional or just a highly skilled Jamaican professional in general, how you can land jobs overseas, whether it's jobs where you're working remotely or jobs where you're being flued out, yeah, to be on site. What are the things that you need to do to attract recruiters? What is the recruitment process like? What are the documents that you need to have? If you have to migrate, what is the migration process like? We're going to have two immigration attorneys on, one from the US and one from Canada, who's going to be talking to us about what the process looks like on either end and what you need to do. We're going to be talking about the lottery process and what that's like, whether or not you should be studying overseas and then do the lottery thing so you can get in. We're going to be talking to persons who are actually working for overseas companies living right here in Jamaica, and some of them who have actually started working with these companies in Jamaica and are now on site in other countries. We have a magnificent lineup of persons that are going to be talking to us about how to attract recruiters and everything that comes with that and everything that comes after that, and what are some of the avenues you can go down to get these jobs. So that is coming up on the 17th of July. Look out for more information on that coming up in the following weeks. Okay. And in August this year, we're going to be finally publishing our digital marketing guide and workbook, which is a massive, fully comprehensive workbook for Jamaicans and persons in the Caribbean who wants to learn more about marketing from a Caribbean perspective. Yeah. What is the experience of marketing like for us, digital marketing, and what are some of the things that you can do? And of course, you're going to have worksheets, and it is full of case studies from local brands and Caribbean brands. And we're going to walk you through the things that they're doing well and the things that they're not doing well. It's very comprehensive, so you can look forward to that. And then later down in the year, we're going to be having a massive online business. Well, it's not massive, but it's a big deal because I think it's one of the first ones. We're going to be having a online business bootcamp. So it's a boot camp just for persons who run online businesses. It don't matter what your business is in. We're going to have a boot camp just for you guys because you guys are struggling. You have problems, and we want to be able to help you to figure it out. We're going to be having workshops and mentorship sessions and giveaways. We're going to have government agencies in there telling you what you need to do, because some of us believe that because our business is virtual, that means you're exempt from taxes. Oh no. And we found that out the hard way, and we were formal. Okay. Registering your business, how you register an online business and all that excitement. It was a learning curve for us, and we want to help you avoid some of the pitfalls that we landed in because we did not know what we were doing as an online business. So we're going to have persons in there to talk to you about that as well. And the last update is, guys, this Thursday, our Digital Jamaica podcast episode with Kalila Reynolds will be out. And even in that episode, Kalila talked about the difficulties she had registering her business with the tax and the company's office. It's a mess out here, right? So she talks about that, and she talks about how much money she's projected to make as of June this year. Yes, and some other goodies, some gems that she dropped, and some other information that she gave us about starting her own media company. So you can look out for that. So yeah, guys, that's it for our Digital Jamaica updates this week. And now it's over to Momo, who is going to be sharing with us, telling us the answer and revealing the winner of this week's hashtag Tech Trivia.
All right. So our trivia question for this week was, what is the name of the world's first home video game console, and in which year did it come to market? And the answer is it's the Magnavox Odyssey. So the name of the console was the Odyssey. In 1972, the Magnavox released the world's first home video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey. It came packaged with board game paraphernalia like cards, paper money, and dice to enhance the game. Now, the system was also developed by Ralph Baer, a German-American engineer who created the ping pong style gameplay that the Odyssey offered. And I have your names of the persons who would have submitted the correct answers on our social media platforms across Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere. Yeah. And so Auntie Patty saying she remembers it. Wow. Right. And literally picking a name out of the bunch. Let's see who it is. Could it be you? Could it be you? All right. So the winner of our 7-in-1 tripod, handheld tripod, selfie kit, courtesy of Breadfruit Media is, and this is her handle, _Samia, SAMAIA. All right. So,
and where did Samia send her answer from?
On Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. So Samia from Instagram, you won.
You won, girl. Well, I don't know if it's a girl, guy, chick, or child, right? But please send us a DM with your contact information. You have until when they have to do it. To submit your answers so that we can make arrangements for your prize to get to you, or for you to pick up your prize.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being with us for another episode of the Digital Jamaica Live Show. Make sure you're following us on social media. And somebody just asked us in the chat about a link to our newsletter. If you follow us on social media, if you click the link in our bio on social media, there's a link to our newsletter where you can sign up to get newsletter from us about all the amazing things that we have coming up. Yes. From Digital Jamaica, because it's a lot of stuff from Digital Jamaica and our training company, the Digital Disruption Agency. All right. So we will see you guys next week. Where are we though? We're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're on every platform. Everywhere. Even though our home base is really Instagram, we're doing our thing on Twitter and on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. We're not really on Facebook as much, but we have our presence there. So you can go and you can check us out and you can make sure you're following us. And guys, tell us, what are some of the other things you want us to talk about? Because we realize that you guys were very interested in the gaming conversation.
Yeah.
What are some of the other conversations you want us to talk about? Because it's all about how do we make money in this online thing. What are we doing in Jamaica now in terms of digital and tech, and how can we actually make money from it, as opposed to what's going on in the world, the global space, and how we can tap into that, because digital makes it possible for us to tap into any market money.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really want to, what Kate is asking is really about how we best serve you. You know, we have a lot of ideas, but we want to make sure that what we're providing is functional and is best for you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for another lively discussion, and really looking forward to seeing you guys again next week.
Yes, and thanks to our guests, Glen, Zane, Raccine, and Kenardo. We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.